In this episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast, we break down the elevator pitch and how to make yours even better. Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast. I'm super excited to be here, as I am every Monday, answering your reality TV questions about how to get cast. Before we get into today's question, which is all about the elevator pitch, and we're going to break down listeners, kind of like last week's case study. And before we get into that, I do want to remind you guys about the step-by-step guide that I wrote. It helps you from A to Z come up with your elevator pitch, your story, and get yourself in a position to be successful in casting. So you're not going into the process without any information, unprepared. Just like back when you were in school, you wouldn't go into a test without preparing first. At least I hope not. The guide will help you put yourself in a position to be successful and understand what you need to say and how to develop your story. And it comes with a set of worksheets that will also help you out. May remind you of school, but it's for fun, and it's all for your purpose to help you get in a better casting position than you were prior to reading the guide. You can check that out at howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. All the information is there on how to access the guide and the worksheets, everything. That's at howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. So before we jump into this, I want to thank you guys because, I wish I could tell you what episode number is this. It's 46. Yeah, episode 46. We've been at this for a while, and it's good. It's cool. It seems like the new format's working. A lot of people are excited. There's a lot of questions that have been submitted. So if I haven't had a chance to answer yours just yet, please be patient. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's question from Matt, which is all about elevator pitches.
Oh, hey, Dan. What's my story? Well, I'm Matt, and I'm 42 years old from Ottawa. In addition to owning my own business where I fly drones, I also love to play with my autistic son because I'm a giant kidult. My wife says I'm a terrible liar, but I know I will win Big Brother because I can be brutally honest with humorous charm. So, as you could probably tell, I'm working on my elevator pitch, and if it weren't for the complete step-by-step guide that I was able to get, I probably wouldn't be this far along in my application process for Big Brother Canada 4. So I just wanted to drop a quick line, practice it on you, and just thank you very much for all your hard work and your podcast. I will talk with you later, buddy.
Hey, Matt, what's going on? Thank you so much for the creative question. That's a smart, interesting, and different way to get your question answered on the podcast by actually presenting your elevator pitch. And before we get into that, someone will say, hey, Dan, I don't know what an elevator pitch is, or I've heard of it before, but I don't remember. And also, Matt, nice plug for the step-by-step guide. I appreciate that. But what your elevator pitch is essentially it's your reality TV story in a few short sentences. So you have 10 seconds to tell someone what you're all about and why you should get cast on the show. That just doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen by accident. Someone like Matt has put some thought into it, and so you can so you'll have a little success instead of just like, yeah, hey, I'm Matt, I'm a dad, I'm 42, I'm from Ottawa. Okay, that's not a good elevator pitch. Matt presented one, which was good, but we're going to make this better in answering his question here. So the first thing I want to talk about is with Matt is he had very good energy. So you could tell he was excited to ask a question. You could tell he was excited about his story, and he had some inflection in his voice, which if you can hear that just auditorily or through your ears, I imagine in person he's going to do the same and have some good energy as well. So step one, that's very good. Also like the word, just a couple things that stand out. The number one thing that stood out to me in terms of analyzing, Matt, your elevator pitch is the fact that you work with drones and you run your own drone business. That's huge. I can't imagine there's a lot of other people applying for the show that have their own drone business. So that immediately sets you apart. That's also something that's in the eye of popular news, and there's controversy on it. There's a lot of opinions about drones. So that's really, really good because that's something you're going to be associated with that individual drone. You're going to be associated as the drone dad. The other thing I liked, you showed a sympathetic sign. Hey, you have a son who's autistic and you love spending time with him. So right there, and the fact you're 42, you would be filling that dad role that you may or may not see every single season. It may be every other season, but you're going to be in that dad role. So that's what you need to play up to in your own unique way. So those things I did like about your elevator pitch. What I didn't like, one, your wife says you're a bad liar. Okay, that's a waste of a sentence because it's your wife's opinion. It's not you stating something about yourself or you sharing something unique about yourself. Your wife's not going on the show. You are. So you want to scrap that. You don't want to waste that 3 seconds of your elevator pitch talking about what someone else thinks of you. The other thing I didn't like about it is that you said, you can be brutally honest while still being charming. That's very, very generic. So you want to play up something that's different about you. That's like me saying, hey, I'm going to be a good competitor on the show. Oh, or hey, I'm very confident. That's just so vanilla now. You have to do something to really separate yourself. When you said kidult, okay, I never heard that before, but I'm going to associate that word with you now, and I could figure out what it was. So that's good. That's a unique something that you've created that's going to be positively associated with you along with the drone dad. So here's what, outside of Matt, if you're struggling with your elevator pitch, here's 2 questions you can ask yourself when writing those 3 sentences describing who you are. Number 1, is anyone else applying going to say this? Okay, so the fact that Matt said, hey, I'm 42 years old, I'm from Ottawa, I own my own drone business. Is anyone else going to say that? No, that's pretty unique. There may either be 42-year-olds from Ottawa, but the chances are probably no one's going to have a drone business. So that's really good. So you pass there. The second thing is, can I expand on this sentence for 15 minutes? Can I tell stories about this? Matt, I would imagine that you can talk about your drone business forever, about what it took to get up and running, weird things that you saw, your coolest shots, cool events, people being freaked out by it, the time an eagle snatched it out of the air, whatever. So 2 questions when you're developing your elevator story is, 1, will someone else say this? If you think someone else is going to say that in their elevator pitch, the average person, someone else, don't say it, because these casting people hear the same thing over and over again. You want to tell them something different. And then the other thing, can you expand on that 1 sentence for 15 minutes? If you can answer yes to both of those questions for each of the 3 sentences you put in your elevator pitch, you're going to be in good shape. So I think, Matt, if you were to go through your 3 sentences, the one about, you saying that your wife says you're a bad liar and that you're you can be brutally honest while still being charming, those are two questions that 2 statements or sentences that fail those 2 questions. So I think if you develop that and work on that, you'll be fine. First sentence is good. The first part's good. Just one additional, I'd like to point you in the right direction, Matt, and I've kind of hit on this. You're the drone dad. Like, what you need to do is you need to talk about drones in your audition video, because it's, like I mentioned, it's a very controversial subject. So for example, what are your thoughts on voyeurism in terms of, are you a fan of it? Are you not? How does that affect your business? What about government oversight on controlling drones? Do you feel like you should be able to send your drone wherever you want and no one should be able to tell you what you do because that's your airspace in Canada? And because people are going to have an opinion on that. People aren't going to want a drone flying in their backyard. Some people are going to think it's the greatest thing in the world because Amazon does it to deliver. The third thing, I'd expand upon in being the drone dad is your thoughts on privacy. What are your thoughts about that? What do you think about people who are against drones and citing a lack of privacy, and those that are for it? So take a stance, and really, I would play up that angle so big because it's such a unique part of your story. So Matt, I hope that helped. And if you're listening to this at home and you're stuck on your elevator pitch, I hope when you get stuck, to remember to ask yourself those 2 questions for each sentence. And I think that'll help you out. But Matt, as a small thank you for asking your question on the podcast, we're going to send you a free digital copy of my story, How a Normal Guy Got Cast on Reality TV. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, just like Matt, you can ask it at howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask on your cell phone, on your tablet, on your computer. It's a really easy voicemail app. You just leave it in, and, maybe your question will get answered on the podcast as well. Matt, thank you so much for the question, and good luck being the drone dad. All right, so that wraps up episode 46 of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast. Whether you're just getting started or you're at your elevator pitch or you've developed your character points, wherever you're at in the process, it's worth checking out the guide that I wrote. It's going to help you from A to Z. It includes worksheets that'll, when you get trapped and you get stuck and you don't know what to do and you say, hey, Dan, I want you to answer my question, but you only answer one question on the podcast per week, the guide will help fill those gaps for you. You can check it out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. All the information is there. Matt, who you heard the question from, you could tell that he was prepared with his elevator pitch because he had read the guide and he was almost there. He had a great start versus I wouldn't want to hear Matt's pitch if he didn't have any preparation whatsoever. So Matt was on the right path. He just needed a little push in the right direction, but I bet Matt would have figured it out himself. He seems like a sharp guy with a lot of energy. But if you want to check out the guide, go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, however you intake the show. Thank you guys. It's been fun. I enjoy doing this every week, and I will see you guys next Monday. Later.